Good evening. My name is Ryan Jones, and I'm here to speak with each of you this evening about interpersonal communication. But before I get into that, if you were a young adult either in the 90s or early 2000s, you undoubtedly have heard of a TV show called Friends. This TV show centered around the lives of several individuals who either lived together, grew up together, or they lived close to each other, and they developed lifelong friendships with each other. Even the theme song of the TV show tells us something. I'll be there for you because you're there for me too. It's important for us to have friendship. But do we really think about what goes into those friendships? It all comes down to one thing: interpersonal communication. Interpersonal communication is the act of two people interacting with each other through either verbally or through messages or things like that. The main point tonight is about face-to-face interpersonal communication. This type of communication is extremely important. In fact, it is fundamental and essential for the continued growth of our society. My speech will be of great benefit to you this evening because it will cause you to think about your interpersonal interactions and also hopefully allow you to put more meaning and effort into your interactions with others. There's two reasons why face-to-face interpersonal communication is essential in growing our society. The first one is that it connects people to each other. And then second, it fosters personal growth. So let's look at the first point. We talked about building connections with each other. So what are the benefits of connection? There was an article published in the Journal of Neuroscience. It was titled, On the Same Wavelength. It was Dr. Kyoung-Suk Yoon. He showed how brain wavelengths and brain synapses function at a higher level when people communicate face to face with each other. People have companionship with each other. Friendships are also developed. Even the scriptures tell us that it is not good for man to be alone. Not necessarily specifically referring to marriage itself, but to overall relationships with each other. People thrive with companionship. With this environment that we find ourselves in today with COVID-19, we've all heard stories of people that have either been in nursing homes or they live alone and end up becoming isolated because of social distancing and other protocols that take place, and it causes overall health decline or mental capabilities or things like that. And then when those relationships are restored, when people are allowed to visit their loved ones in the nursing home, those people begin to thrive yet again. We need each other. It helps provide assistance to those who may be hurting. They could be hurting mentally, emotionally, physically, and most importantly, spiritually. We, through face-to-face interpersonal communication, can provide the support that people need. And then most importantly, it allows us to fulfill the Great Commission, going out into all the world and telling the gospel, sharing it with others. Although some people may not want us to witness to them, in this day and age that we live in, it's still essential for us to do so. So from understanding how people thrive with companionship, how companionship is necessary, we can now begin to see how it ties into fostering personal growth as well. Social skills are an example. It allows us to become more proficient in overall communication through constant conversations with people and getting honest feedback from others as well. It grows our social skills on the job or with our families or friends or whoever it is. It all allows us to grow in that area. Confidence is another key area. There was an article on Mindvalley written by Shannon Terrell. It was titled 3 Effective Communication Skills to Increase Your Confidence. It lists confidence as a significant benefit of continued face-to-face interaction. Now, some people may feel that their looks, their mannerisms, their speech, the way they talk may not be good enough for face-to-face interaction. For those of us as Christians, we see a perfect example with Moses with that. But as we see with him and we see in others today, that through continued speaking and engagement with others, confidence will occur. And then lastly, it boosts physical health. Studies have also shown that by having face-to-face interaction and interacting just in general with each other. It allows us to build up immunities and other things that we need to continue to thrive and be alive in this society. So, with all of that said, we've now learned that face-to-face interpersonal communication is fundamental for the continued growth of our society. We've seen examples of that, how it connects people to each other and how it fosters personal, individual growth. So let me leave you with a thought this evening. Imagine if we did not have face-to-face communication with each other. We would be a collection of individuals with no purpose, wandering through life with no one to share our experiences with, no one to tell anybody about the things that we've done or to find our love in somebody. This world would be an empty place. One final scripture that is a key scripture that goes along with this. How good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Thank you, and have a good night.